Good afternoon, and what is a cool, bright and sunny day. It is Friday the 20th of January. I've got a nice little cup of tea. And quite a thick parcel to unbox. Let's have a look. Got my fingers in here. It's from drive-through, so it's kind of really kind of stuck down. It's really a case of forcing your fingers in there. Okay, Completely Unfathomable Omnibus Edition. So look, this is a fantastic tome from the Hydra Cooperative, written by Jason Schultes and Paul Wolfe. If this is what I think it is, this is going to be an amazing book. It's for Dungeon Crawl Classics. And this is essentially, I mean, I've already just done an unboxing of this. Okay. This is the Dungeon Crawl Classics version, and I think this is going to be really popular with Dungeon Crawl Classics players because they really like they're really odd, weird campaigns, settings, and this is really going to deliver. So I open up, and it feels like initially I am going through this again, but you've got more of this artwork. You've got more of the same kind of thing. So, but I mean, you know, more of the art, you've got the same kind of artwork, but just more. We open up with this. We have an explanation of what Operation Unfathomable, and essentially this is it's the introductory adventure for the publishers, basically the author's campaign world, and it's essentially essentially it gets started off with getting into the setting and the world and what it's like, with a really interesting campaign and scenario. The scenario itself is best described of it's a high-level adventure for low-level characters, and the idea is that the prince of a near kingdom has disappeared and gone off into a dungeon and went into the underworld, and the player characters have to go and get him back, and he's quite strong and powerful. So he's kind of done the hard work of cutting his way through this underworld, but there's still remnants left, and the player characters are going in and picking up his trail and the remnants of what he left behind, most of which are unhappy with his presence. So the player characters are going to set out from Fourth Enterprise and go and explore and essentially travel deep into the underworld. And you start off with conditions in the underworld and the starting point, major regions, languages, communication, the Devil's Highway and Hell's Back Road. And you've got encounters and other weirdness, underworld phenomena, competing parties and underworld travellers, and throughout you've got advice, guide from this chap here. So is Bardolph the Beerhound. He'll be giving you the facts as they are, the truth as it is, of what's down there, what's to be encountered, what the player characters should do, maybe what they shouldn't do. So you're encountering things down like there. You might be Professor Zarbon's Gormantine's the Robot Master Sorcerer's Expedition, a grey humanoid wedding party, an old priest with two-headed ape mummy bodyguard. Sadly not illustrated there, which is a pity. And then we have Worm, Constabulary of the Shaggoth Car, unauthorized rampage, revenge rampage. A science fungoid shipping crew. And this is just in the encounters. And that's a trader. You can see that coming towards you. We're going, what the hell is that? And this is essentially it's a quite an arch kind of baroque science fantasy campaign. In which the player characters of the opera sort of play sort of like the fantasy equivalent of Star Rangers, that sort of thing. And hopefully they're going to be presented as that's a sort of character class in the back. We have Wandering Hordes, or Wandering Horrors, sorry. Flaming Hounds, Cave Swallows, and the like. And Psychotic Cyclops, and the Egg Carrier. Yep, there he is with the egg. And there's the route down some massive stairs, which are clearly not designed for human legs. And then we have, there's the map, essentially, of the underworld, which the player characters will be exploring. It's actually not. It's big, but it's not. It's not too complex as such. It's quite straightforward. And then the player, you've got the judge's map and key and so on for exploring. Things like graven images, running into a worm tunnel, and then it goes through. I think with the encounter areas, we have the Google Peed and Doorway to the Future and Beetle Town at Welcome, Beetle Town Welcome Centre and dwellings. So you've got communities and societies down there as well. It's not all about going in and rampaging down and getting killed, because essentially the player characters aren't really up to that. Let's see what else we've got. We have a mini dungeon, local franchise of the Temple of Null. And I remember reviewing the original Operation Unfathomable and going and enjoying it immensely. It was a hugely entertaining dungeon and adventure. And then we have basically the Worm Sultan awaits with an encounter with Shagank, son of Shagath Kar. And then Shagath Kar, the Worm Sultan himself. With the Ice City of the Nanuits. And essentially there's a nanite city in there, and you've got more exits of the map there. In the middle there. And that's it, that's the adventure. And then you get onto the Odious Uplands. So this is actually really two books in one. So it's got the Operation Unfathomable in there, and then it's this one, but redesigned for Dungeon Crawl Classics. Odious Overview, General Overview, it's adventuring in Upper Macedonia, and I'm not going to go through this book all the way through, because essentially I have showcased it off the version for Swords and Wizardry, and you can sort of go and have a look at that and see some of this artwork. I'm going to show you some of the artwork here, but not all of it. You've got the personalities of Fort Enterprise, which is the point of departure for Operation Unfathomable, and the essentially the Odious Uplands forms the area above Operation Unfathomable, and it's where you essentially it's a primordial wilderness which has just been freed from a glacial age with an amazing thaw. So you have mastodons being herded by giants and ape men, and so on, and woolly Neanderthals, and the like. You've got resident sorcerers, and then we've got a description of fort enterprise and environs. So there's a map of Fort Enterprise. So you can access it by land or by river. And there wasn't very much of a description in Operation Unfathomable, but you can add. But with this, you could sort of like expand upon that a bit. And you've got Monster Alert. Coloco shows up in a rage, and section over. Obviously, you've got Coloco. Let's see if I can get a picture of him. Because it's one of my favourite images, just to give a feel of the place and the primordial nature of the land beyond. That it has giant apes that will attack. Sorry, I'm just going to find that. No, I've lost it. That's very annoying. Flip back a few pages. Here we go. So yeah, it's this giant ape attack, up against the palisade of Fort Enterprise, and described over the page. Right, and then we have going couple of NPCs, and then we've got a map of the odious uplands. Go, and there'll be a player equivalent map at the back, ready for the players to explore and add to. We've got areas of interest like Kraken Lake, Thrillplu's Dome. So we've got a bit of a mythos type creature there. Various NPCs the player characters can run into. Got a party camp of barbarian heroes in very Conan-esque style, by Crom, as they say. Then we get into Ape Country. And we have a cliffside temple to Shagath Kar. So you can encounter Shagath Kar in Operation Unfathomable, but you've got a temple to him up top as well. And as I say, one of the things I kind of think would be great to go with this book is a booklet of these illustrations, just to use as handouts for the player characters, just to show them, because hopefully you've got access to the PDF and you're basically showing these to the player characters as they go. Because absolutely, you want to use this artwork, you want to show it to them. You want to be able, as the judge, you want to be able them to appreciate it as much as you are. And then we've got the Mammoth King. Fantastic sense of scale there, we've got an ape menagerie, or ape menagerie of the man-apes. Really freaky artwork in places, but it's really good. So I am flipping through this fairly quickly, but I mean, if you want to have a look at this one of these in more detail, done an unboxing of Operation. It was basically Completely Odious earlier, as I say, and went wow. But the fact that there is a Dungeon Core Classics version is really going. I'm really looking forward to this. And we've got a Science Fungoid Surface Incursion Research Facility. And then Mount Impossible. A few with encounters and so on, just to flesh it out, make it interesting, you know, rather than just something to climb. You've got effects of chaos exposure, spidery, and yes, very chaos is spidery. Then we've got Coloco's Nest himself. So he's, you know, the player characters can go up and confront him, and he's even being ridden by sort of like a chaos spider there on the back, I bet. We've got Frost Giant Forest. Got a Fossil Forest. There is so much in this book. This would keep you going for a year. An Invisible Inn. Have fun finding that if you don't know where it is. A Arboreal Laboratory. The Vineyard of the Night. So that essentially so ends this expedition to the odious uplands, and then essentially appendices. We have a brief history of chaos, the underworld, and genocide beetles. So this is supporting both Operation Unfathomable and odious uplands. On the cult of the mindless god. So a lot of this is really there was a separate book to. Complementary little booklet to Operation Unfathomable, which added more detail. You've got complementary hirelings and what to do if your character dies. We've got a player's guide. This is primarily what was also available. That was the other book. It included a really fantastic little cartoon there. You almost wish that you sort of like, you know, this goes on and it goes on for a few pages, and you're just going, oh god, I wish they'd drawn the whole thing. That would have been great. As you see, the artwork is fantastic. Ooh. And then character generation. So you've got guide there to creating characters for the campaign, for both the scenario and the campaign setting. And it's almost worth really playing the scenario and then playing the campaign itself, the exploring. So new Dungeon Crawl Classics. So you've got different dwarves, underworld otters. Woolly Neanderthals, and sorry, you don't need any other class. If you've got an otter, you don't need any other class. Citizen liches. And then Underworld Ranger. They're the kind of the equivalent of sort of like the Star Rangers, but they work underground. And then you've got player background and so on. And then we get into, you know, monster treasures and spells and so on. And essentially you can see the Underworld Ranger's his ray pistol at work. So I was absolutely not expecting, you know, this book. I've got the Eye of Shagath Kar. I wasn't expecting this book at all. It's an absolute surprise to me. I'm thoroughly going, oh, this is fantastic. I can't wait to dig into this. And it's both for Dungeon Crawl Classics and Swords and Wizardry. And the one I really want to look at is this version. And you've got, of course, the spell tables for all of the new spells which you have in Dungeon Crawl Classics. So Aisha's Carapace of Corpulence. And then you've got the various handouts and so on for the players. Got a brief primer on Upper Macedonia. Just more great artwork. And patrons as well for your clerics, including the Mammoth King and his patron spells. And just, you know, and then Shagath Kar the Worm Sultan. I fancy taking him as a patron. Utterly creepy and weird, brilliant, love it. So yeah, or Zoltek the spider thing. So, Completely Unfathomable. That's the complete package, the complete thing for Dungeon Crawl Classics. I think this is utterly amazing. Looking forward to digging into this at some point in the future. I think if you're a Dungeon Crawl Classics fan, you're really going to want to have a look at this. It looks utterly amazing. Anyway, thanks for watching another unboxing of the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you posting those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel containing a book or game which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.